everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Today's video is a Dollar Tree DIY boho decor video. This has been requested on my channel for a long time, so I finally decided to put a few pieces together, and I actually have another boho video coming up, so make sure that you have those notifications on. And I really hope that you enjoy this video and stick around by subscribing to this channel. Once you hit that subscribe button, we instantly become best friends.
Did we just become best friends? Yep!
And please turn on those notifications. Make sure that the notification bell looks like it's getting a little hug. That means that it's set to all and you will be notified of all my videos. And please, please, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel out. That is what the YouTubes wants these days. Sometimes it wants comments, sometimes it wants likes. So please give this video a big thumbs up and let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start off with the easiest, which are the bottles. I love these bottles from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cover them using these stickers. You can also do art on your own. I have a video on how to do this. I'll link it below, but these are stickers, so they're the easiest to do. You just kind of wrap them around and you change the look of them completely. Like I said, I do have that bottle in the back, which I've done using puffy paint, and I'll leave that video below. But this is the easiest way. If you don't want to permanently mark up your bottles, you can always remove this afterwards and use your bottles for whatever you can. Adding a little bit of lace just adds that boho feel. I added greenery to my bottles. I bought this at Walmart for 97 cents, but you can add a candle and melt it down. You can add marbles. You can do whatever you want. And I did go ahead and add more of the lace stickers. If you don't want to do the lace, you can always drip some paint. Their possibilities are endless. The colors of these are what make it look boho, and in the end you have something really cool. For my next DIY, I'm going to be using these plaques from Dollar Tree, but of course if you don't want to spend the $4 on the plaques, you can use an old canvas that you get at a thrift store or just regular foam board. I'm going to go ahead and attach these, and I'm going to use the help of my handy dandy binder clips. Now usually I use E6000, but since this is kind of like cardboard, hot glue works really well. So I'm just going to add my hot glue, put my binder clips to make sure that they are nice and flush, and make sure that I'm letting the hot glue set completely. Even though this is instantly, it does take about a few minutes for it to set. So once I have all my binder clips in place, I'm going to add a little bit more hot glue in those seams to make sure that everything is attached. And when everything is completely set, I'm going to remove my binder clips and flip this over. Now I can either paint this one solid color or cover it with contact paper, which was what I'm going to do. This is contact paper from Dollar Tree. The easiest way to do this is to take your contact paper and to make a fold to represent the side of the contact paper. You're going to remove the lining, and then you're going to line up the contact paper with that fold to the very edge of your canvas. This is going to give you a nice crisp line, and now you're just going to pull from the bottom and go ahead and smooth from the top. This is really easy to pull up, so if you do notice that some areas have air bubbles, just go ahead and pull it up and smooth it out. And if some you just can't get out, you can go ahead and pop those with a little needle, whatever you have on hand. Now for the sides, I'm just going to go ahead and start pulling up and cutting it down like I would a present. So I'm going to make little slits on the side to make it easier for it to cut. Now that my edges are set, I'm going to go ahead and decorate using some Dollar Tree decals. Now I know I have this in the thumbnail, but I didn't show it in my B-roll because even though I really love this elephant, and this was probably the best choice for this canvas, I ended up messing this up. But I did want to show you guys how good it looks. You can't even see the seam lines because I'm covering it with the elephant itself. Unfortunately, I did choose to get some paint and outline it, and it ended up looking horrible. But like this on its own, it looks really great. So the lesson learned today is that sometimes less is more. So after my atrocity, I covered the canvas again with some contact paper, and then I added this decal from Dollar Tree, which I also really love, and it already does look like the Dollar Tree art, only way bigger. Instead of painting this one, I did grab some washi tape and I lined the sides of it just to make it look a little bit more three-dimensional. I didn't want this to look like a piece of foam board covered up, but I didn't paint this one because I already learned my lesson from the last one. It probably really didn't even look that bad, but I just didn't like it in the end. With a regular Sharpie, I went ahead and added a quote. I found this on the internet and I have never felt so connected to a quote ever. The desert works constantly to forbid it, and the cactus still blooms. Hello, I feel so seen right now. But anyway, I thought it was a really great quote, and in the end, I really love how this turned out. For my next DIY, I'm going to use 2.5 of these Jenga blocks. I'm also going to use my square tool from Dollar Tree and Gorilla Wood glue. You can use whatever glue you want. These are drawers from Dollar Tree. I think they're so beautiful and the patterns look boho in itself. So now I'm going to measure out to see how many Jenga pieces I'm going to need. For the top and bottom, I'm going to use 3 Jenga pieces per row, and for the sides, I'm going to use 5 Jenga pieces per row, but you're going to realize that my last Jenga piece is a little long. Now, you do not have to cut this. This is optional. You can use popsicle sticks, or you can even use the bamboo boards, but I'm using this cute little tool. I will link it below because I think it's super convenient if you work with popsicle sticks. But if you don't want to do this, please check out PrettyNFlawed. She made this really cool vanity drawer using the bamboo boards, and her video has a nice little twist. So I'll link it below. She's not where I got this idea from, but her video is amazing and you should watch. Now that I have all of them cut down, I'm going to see how many I need, and I'm going to do 5 rows of 5 for each side. So I'm going to go ahead and pick out my Jenga. As you know, these pieces aren't always straight, so make sure that you are finding pieces that fit nicely together. And take your time with this because this might throw off the balance of your whole drawer. To attach everything, I'm going to use my Gorilla Wood glue. If you've been on this channel for a while, you've seen me do this a good amount of times. So I'm not going to bore you and show you the entire process. I'm pretty sure you know how it goes. But once everything is together, this is what you should be left with. And this is one side. So you're going to go ahead and create another one. While that dries, I'm going to create the top and bottom, and I'm going to create 5 rows of 3. So I'm going to go ahead and lay them out the same way I would for the other pieces. And once I see that they fit nicely together, I'll attach them, and I'm going to make 2 of these. Let everything dry really well, and once it is dry, sand it down. You want to sand it down because all of those glue pieces do not stain, so you want to make sure that you remove them. If you have an orbital sander, go ahead and use that. It will accelerate the time a whole lot more than what I'm doing here, but definitely make sure that you're sanding. Unless you're painting this one solid color, then it really doesn't matter. Now that my pieces are sanded and ready, I'm going to go ahead and start attaching them. And what I'm going to do to make my life a little bit easier is make 2 L pieces. Make sure that the parts that don't have any letters are all facing in the same direction. So I'm going to go ahead and add glue to my longer pieces and then put my shorter pieces up against that. And you're going to do this for the other side as well. So once that's set in place, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing up against the other one just to make sure that they fit. This is not attached. I'm just using it as a guide, but you can go ahead and put this up against a wall if you don't want to do this. Once it is completely dry, I'm going to put it on its side and I'm going to attach everything together. So I'm going to add some glue to my longer pieces and some glue to the top as well. And I'm making sure to attach them the same way. So the shorter pieces are going to be on the side of the longer pieces. Let it dry completely, and once it's dry, you can go ahead and stain it or paint it. I'm going to use the same stain that I use for everything, which is dark walnut, and I actually use a sponge brush, and it's really wet because since this does have nooks and crannies, since it is Jenga pieces, I want to make sure that it gets in there. But if it didn't and it was just a solid wood piece, I would probably just use a rag. But as you can see, it is really hard to get into certain areas. After you're done, you can take a rag and remove the excess, but this is going to take quite a bit to dry. So while this is drying, I actually ended up using a Dollar Tree wood piece that was already missing one of the little puzzle pieces, and I'm going to use the bottom. So I went ahead and stained this. Since this is a solid piece of wood, I didn't use as much stain, even though my brush was really wet. But I'm just going to go ahead and cover this up, and this is going to be the base for my next project. While that dries, I took one of the Dollar Tree toys. This is a giraffe, but they have elephants and horses, and I'm going to spray paint it using metallic gold from Rust-Oleum. I will link that little handle. I get questions about it all the time. So now I'm going to go ahead and glue this in place. I usually use E6000, but today I am all about that hot glue. So I hot glued it in place, and I thought it looked a little plain, so I wanted to add a border, and I grabbed some lace ribbon from Dollar Tree. This is some of my favorite ribbon that they have, and I'm just going to add a border. So the sides I am going to tuck under with some glue, and then the other sides I'm just going to cut it down a little bit shorter. If you don't want to add the lace, you can always just grab a stencil and put some really cool designs on the edges or on the wood before you glue down whatever animal you choose. And when you're done, you have this cute little jewelry holder. So now we're going back to our little drawer. Now that this is completely dry, I want to add some feet. Now, these are little feet that I used in a video a while ago. I'll go ahead and link it, but you can do whatever you want. You can even do the chest pieces like I did in my tub, or you can use wooden dowel caps from Walmart. Those were my next choice, but I honestly couldn't find them in my drawers, so I used this. Use E6000, don't use hot glue, but I just was on a hot glue trip. So I went ahead and added my drawers. You can add them in whatever order you want. I could have made this a little bit shorter, but when I was done, I thought I had a really, really cool decor piece. If you like this video, please, please, please don't forget to give your girl a thumbs up, share the love, and share this video with your friends. Let me know in the comments section if you'll be trying out any of these DIYs. And as usual, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.